Here are today's headlines. President Duterte aims to improve relations with India as he attends the India-ASEAN Summit. Fivolx warns residents against lahar flow from Mayon volcano triggered by heavy rain. A journalist who testified in the Sereno impeachment proceedings gets a new death threat. And the Armed Forces of the Philippines files charges against a Spanish national arrested in Basilan for being a suspected terrorist. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The Philippines formally commemorated for the first time the death of 44th Special Action Force members who were massacred in a botched police operation in Mamasapano in January 25, 2015. President Rodrigo Duterte ordered the yearly commemoration of the heroism of the SAF-44. The SAF-44 died in the line of duty in a police operation called Oplan Exodus. They were on a mission to take down international terrorist Zulkifli bin Hir alias Marwan and Filipino terrorist Abdul Basit Usman in Maguindanao. The palace urged the public to remember the heroism of the SAF-44 as well as the daily sacrifices of the country's uniformed personnel for the sake of the continued peace and security of the nation. From here on until the end of the show, we are showing the names of the SAF-44 in remembrance of their sacrifice on this day while serving the country. President Rodrigo Duterte is attending the India-ASEAN Special Cooperation Summit in New Delhi, India. The president is meeting India's leaders to improve business relations and address issues for cooperation such as terrorism. Here is our report.
President Rodrigo Duterte is in New Delhi to attend the India-ASEAN Special Commemorative Summit and India's Republic Day celebration. The president met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for a bilateral meeting on Wednesday night, followed by a ceremonial exchange of Memoranda of Understanding at Hyderabad House. Before attending the India-ASEAN Special Commemorative Summit, Duterte, along with other leaders of the 10-member ASEAN, were formally welcomed by Indian President Ramnath in a special luncheon on January 25. On Friday, Duterte and other ASEAN leaders will attend as chief guests of the India's Republic Day celebration. After the Grand Republic Day ceremony and parade, he will witness the signing of business agreements between the Philippines and India. In his departure speech, the president said he will take advantage of his first foreign trip this year to build a platform that would address terrorism and other law and order problems. Duterte and Modi are expected to talk more on possible increase in trade, particularly in the field of generic medicine. As one of the leaders invited in the ASEAN-India Summit, Duterte is expected to deliver a speech for both the plenary and retreat sessions. The retreat session focuses on maritime cooperation, while plenary session will discuss regional and international issues as well as the future course of ASEAN-India relations. The ASEAN-India Commemorative Summit is the culminating activity for the 25th anniversary of ASEAN-India relations, which the Philippines started when it chaired ASEAN last year. Among the priority areas of cooperation under the ASEAN-India Plan of Action are trade and investment, connectivity, agriculture, tourism, culture, science and technology, and climate change. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, advised disaster officials to be on guard for possible lahar flows from Mayon volcano. Ed Laguerta, PHIVOLCS chief resident volcanologist in Bicol, said that lahar flows will hit low-lying areas if a heavy to intense rainfall continued. Pagasa said Bicol region is affected by the northeast monsoon. PHIVOLCS earlier recorded 5 episodes of intense but sporadic lava fountaining from the summit crater from Tuesday to Wednesday morning. Laguerta said extreme rainfall may trigger landslides and excessive erosion from the pyroclastic and ash flows in the upper to middle slopes of Mayon volcano, generating lahar in all river drainage. Large magnitude lahar can potentially threaten downstream communities along river channels. Lahar-related flooding, washout, and siltation can occur along the Yawa River, threatening adjacent and low-lying areas of Legazpi City. PHIVOLCS strongly recommended vigilance and readiness of communities in predetermined zones of lahar hazards in the mentioned channels. The Australian government announced humanitarian support for local communities affected by the eruption of Mayon volcano in Albay province. Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop said some 31.6 million pesos or 775,000 Australian dollars worth of assistance will be provided through the Philippine Red Cross. These will help about 30,000 people living in evacuation centers access tarpaulins, sleeping mats, blankets, mosquito nets, jerry cans, and hygiene supplies. The government already established an exclusion zone around the volcano and evacuated surrounding communities after it began erupting on January 13. PHIVOLCS raised Mayon volcano's alert level to 4 after it billowed 2 successive cauliflower-type ash columns, sending heavy ashfall in the towns of Camalig, Ginubatan, and Ligao City. The Albay Public Safety Emergency Management Office extended the danger zone to a 9-kilometer radius as the number of families affected increased to over 14,000 as of Tuesday afternoon. Taiwan Representative Gary Song Juan Lim confirmed that the construction of 400 houses for victims of the Marawi conflict will start in the first half of 2018. The Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in the Philippines will earmark a total of 600 million pesos worth of assistance to Marawi City. Some 60 million pesos will fund the construction of 400 transitional housing units, while 540 million pesos will be for 10,480 metric tons of donated rice. Lin mentioned that Taiwan will shoulder both transport and construction costs and assured that locals from Marawi will be hired to help generate jobs. Lin also said that the first batch of rice donation totaling to 1,680 metric tons has already reached Mindanao. Lin said distribution may start after the celebration of the Lunar New Year in Taiwan. European Union Ambassador to the Philippines, Franz Jessen, confirmed that the Philippine government has formally rejected the 4th phase of the EU trade-related technical assistance. The envoy said the aid amounting to 6.1 million euros or 382 million pesos was rejected at the end of this past year. The first TRTA was formalized between 2005 with the EU initially providing 3.5 million euros to the country. After its conclusion in the third quarter of 2008, it was succeeded with the TRTA-2, which ended in 2012. The TRTA-3, which ran from 2013 to 2016, amounted to 3.5 million euros for a project that aims to support the Philippines' integration into the international and regional trading and investment system. Another project focused on sustainable energy is up for decision on whether or not it will be postponed. Yesen said the problem involves technicalities regarding the financial agreement that runs for only 4 years. He said they needed the government to agree with a project that extends into the 5th and 6th year. He said the project is worth 39 million euros. Still to come, a journalist who testified in the Sereno impeachment proceedings gets a new death threat. The Department of Finance seeks to review the implementation of sin taxes. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Ito ang gusto ko, total pera naman ng tao, to observe editorial independence through innovative programs and intelligence treatment, analysis of reports, as well as the development of national and international significance.
From February 19 to 21, 2018, the Presidential Communications Operations Office will launch the National Information Convention to strengthen partnership between the private and public sector, encourage communicators to influence for the common good, and to organize a movement to motivate society towards nation building. With over 1,500 communication practitioners participating in 3 days of intense communication courses. The National Information Convention, spurring national development and empowering communities through information. February 19 to 21, 2018 at the SMX Convention Center, SM Lanang, Davao City.
A journalist who was previously threatened for testifying in the Sereno impeachment proceedings received a new death threat. The Presidential Task Force on Media Security reassured that it will look into the said case. Here is our report.
Manila Times reporter Jomar Canlas, who testified in the impeachment proceedings against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno at the House of Representatives, received another death threat via text message. The journalist who covers the Justice and Courts beat said he received a death threat on January 18. He already reported the matter to the Manila Police District. Canlas believes the threats may have something to do with his testimony at the House Justice Committee on November 27 when he talked about the story he had written regarding the allegation that Sereno falsified a court resolution in 2013. Last December, Canlas got 2 identical text messages apparently telling him to say his last wishes to his wife and children. Reporters covering the Justice Beat condemned the death threat against Canlas and urged authorities to probe the matter. The Justice and Courts Reporters Association described the threats as an act of cowardice. The Justice Reporters Organization also slammed the threats against Canlas, one of its founding members, as a direct attack on press freedom. Meanwhile, National Press Club President Paul Gutierrez said the Presidential Task Force on Media Security has assured the NPC that it is on top of Canlas's case. Members of the media may report threats to the task force, which will then monitor and, if necessary, provide assistance to journalists concerned. For his part, PTFOMS Executive Director Undersecretary Joel C. Egco sought the help of the National Bureau of Investigation and the National Capital Region Police Office in dealing with the threats received by Canlas. Egco also requested the NCRPO to provide a security detail for Canlas upon the discovery of an actual threat. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Bench Bondo.
Presidential Communications Assistant Secretary Esther Margot Moca Uson returned the award given to her by the University of Santo Tomas Alumni Association Incorporated. The recognition for Tomasian alumni in government service was received by USTAAI Chairman Emeritus Dr. Robert C. and Board Advisor Attorney Jack Castañeda from a staff of Uson's office. With this, resigned USTAAI President Henry Tenedero commended Uson's action, calling it a great act of humility and magnanimity. Tenedoro has resigned following the criticisms the alumni body received after recognizing Uson, who graduated from the university with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology. The Catholic University explained that the recognition was not from them but given by the USTAAI, noting that the latter was a separate and independent entity. On Sunday, Uson was awarded by the group for her service in government. She was appointed to the Presidential Communications Operations Office in May 2017. The Department of Tourism plans to propose a budget for the restoration and development of historical shrines and old churches all over the country. Tourism Secretary Wanda Corazon Teo said the Philippines' religious culture provides a strong catalyst for the so-called faith tourism. The proposed project will be a part of preparations for the commemoration of the 500th anniversary of the introduction of Christianity in the Philippines in 1521. Teo said the Philippines is an ideal destination of religious pilgrimage where one can experience time-honored Filipino traditions dating back to pre-Spanish and the Christianization periods. She cited Iloilo's Dinagyang and Sinulog in Cebu, which showed the country's potentials of drawing more visitors who seek to witness the Filipinos' veneration and devotion to Jesus Christ. The DOT head noted that there are 6.6 million Catholic faithful in Asia, which is the prospective market for faith-based tourism in the Philippines. The Department of Finance will submit to Congress a measure that will raise sin taxes, particularly on alcohol. The DOF called for a review of adjustments on the sin taxes. Here is our report.
The Department of Finance is set to submit to Congress by end January 2018 the proposed Package 2 Plus aimed at raising taxes on tobacco, alcohol, mining, coal, and casinos. The hike in sin taxes, or those for tobacco and alcohol, was included in the first package of the proposed tax reform program, but was not part of those approved. In 2012, lawmakers approved the reform in the country's sin taxes, with excise tax on cigarettes alone to increase to 12 pesos per pack in 2013, 15 pesos in 2014, 18 pesos in 2015, 21 pesos in 2016, and 30 pesos in 2017. By 2018, tax rates on cigarettes are mandated to rise by 4% every year through revenue regulations issued by the DOF Secretary. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III explained that sin taxes were supposed to be reviewed in toto, but actually what they only adjusted is the cigarette tax. He expected Congress to tackle alcohol tax based on the original sin tax law. Dominguez said there are currently 2 bills in the Senate aimed at increasing cigarette taxes, which he is willing to discuss with lawmakers. Meanwhile, regarding tax on mining, the Finance Secretary said the state gets revenues from mining excise taxes and other fees, and these, he said, have to be rationalized. Taxes on properties also need to be rationalized, he said, citing that assessment of local government units on the value of property taxes are usually low. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Philippine Cervantes.
The Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Cordillera Administrative Region arrested a retired policeman for selling suspected shabu to an agent in Baguio City Tuesday night. Operatives arrested Carlos Salviejo Lagayan, 69 years old, in a buy-bust operation in Laobac Road after General Luna. Seized from him were 7 sachets of suspected shabu weighing about 10 grams, a 1,000 peso bill, and 19 1,000 peso bills in fake money. PDEA Car Information Officer Frederick Joseph Kalulot said that Lagayan was in the watch list of PDEA Car. Lagayan reportedly worked for the Narcotics Command in the region when he was still in active service. Kalulot said Lagayan was already convicted for violating the Dangerous Drugs Act of 1972, but the decision was reversed. He stressed that some drug personalities had been convicted, but after a reversal of their cases, they returned to their illegal business. Up next, the Armed Forces of the Philippines files charges against a Spanish national arrested in Basilan for being a suspected terrorist. Task Force Bangon Marawi leads convergence initiatives to strengthen food security for Marawi residents. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns. Police arrested a Spanish national suspected of being a terrorist in a checkpoint in Basilan. The suspect was caught carrying assorted explosives. Here is our report.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines filed criminal charges before the Department of Justice against a suspected terrorist who was arrested in a checkpoint in Basilan. Spanish national Abdel Hakim Labidi Adib was charged with illegal possession of firearms after he was reportedly caught carrying a backpack containing a hand grenade, one rifle grenade, a cellular phone used as a detonating device, credit card, identification card, passport, and cash worth 8,520 pesos. Adib's arrest came after the AFP's 14th Special Forces Company received information that two suspicious personalities were to pass Barangay Townsite in Maluso, Basilan. He was then arrested at the military checkpoint in Barangay Townsite on January 22, while his companion, a member of the Abu Sayyaf group, was able to flee. During their investigation, the military learned that Adib arrived in the country from Switzerland on October 10 last year, and his tourist visa was valid until December 8. Adib underwent inquest proceedings before Senior Assistant State Prosecutor Peter Ong and Assistant State Prosecutor Rodan Parocha on Wednesday. The suspect said that the accusations against him were false and that he only came to the country for a vacation. He denied knowing the name of his Filipino companion and owning the backpack and the explosives found inside. But when he was asked again about the purpose of his visit to Basilan, he refused to answer. He was reportedly intending on returning to Spain before he was arrested. The DOJ scheduled the preliminary investigation on Wednesday at 2 p.m., where Adib is set to file his counter-affidavit to the complaint. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Giselle Danganan.
Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano announced that 100,000 passport application appointment slots from February to May had been made available to the public. Cayetano assured that the DFA will put up more slots every day so that those who want to travel during the summer will not be hampered for lacking a passport. The general public can access the slots by visiting and scheduling appointments at passport.gov.ph. The DFA recently canceled more than 50,000 bogus appointments, enabling the opening of more passport appointment slots to the public. It also removed 1,200 slots in DFA Asiana previously reserved for travel agencies. Portal for first-time overseas Filipino workers was also made available with 1,000 slots allotted for qualified applicants daily. Jason Mama pummeled to submission Michael Camelion of Bukidnon via TKO to capture the vacant WBO Asia Pacific Youth Flyweight title at the Gaisano Mall Atrium in General Santos City. International referee Danrex Tapdasan stopped the fight in round 9 after Camelion suffered too much punishment in the title fight of Brawl at the Mall 10th edition. Mama's twin brother Jerwin also saw action in the undercard, beating veteran Romulo Ramayan by a TKO during the rest period of the 6th round. Meanwhile, WBF Intercontinental Super Flyweight champ Jake Bornea defeated Gestoni Makiputin in round 2. Current interim OPBF Bantamweight title holder Ben Manangkil also stopped Alvin Bais in the rest period of round 2. New Sandman fighter Joey Canoy knocked out Bukidnon's Rodel Tejares in round 3. American-Mexican Daniel Paceres from Miami, Florida knocked out JP Makadumpis of Balut Island in round 2. Malaysian Mohamed Sheran of Kuala Lumpur took a unanimous decision over Surigao's Richard Betos. Japanese model-turned-boxer Tomoni Takano forced Filipina Joanne Ambalong to quit in round 2 of their exhibition bout. Task Force Bangon Marawi reached out to farmers affected by the 10-month-long conflict. Their focus is to help rebuild their livelihood and re-establish food security. Here is our report.
In the midst of rehabilitation process for Marawi City, the Task Force Bangon Marawi member agencies, together with the international non-government organizations, the United Nations World Food Program, and the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, have strengthened and institutionalized convergence initiatives for the reconstruction, recovery, and rehabilitation of the 5 pilot barangays of Malimuno Dulay Agrarian Reform Community in Marawi City to provide assistance through agricultural programs, social services, security, business, and livelihood of the conflict-affected communities. The program aims to provide an immediate help and assistance to the maximum recovery of the war-torn city. These barangay include Gimba, Dulay Proper, Dulay West, Malimono, and Cabasaran.
For the people of Marawi and all the stakeholders, sama-sama po tayong babangon. The humanitarian organizations like the World Food Program is actually with you and has been with you in trying our best to ensure that food security be restored back and even better as we return to the communities that have been affected by the conflict.
Recently, the Memorandum of Understanding among partner agencies has been signed for convergence initiatives. This includes the creation of Convergence Project Monitoring Team, consists of government line agencies and international non-government organizations. The convergence initiatives primarily targets to ensure food security to the city.
Naisip po namin sa Department of Agriculture upang makatulong sa ating mga magsasaka, sa mga IDPs natin na yung madali ang pangkabuhayan. Kaya ginawa po namin, nag-gardening tayo upang sa gayon ay yung pitsay kasi natin, makukuha natin ng 45 days, makakaani sila at makakatulong sa kanilang kabuhayan. Ito nga yung presidente ng Al-Sahara Cooperative. Minsan ko, nagde-deliver sila ng Iligan City ng mahigit 10,000, 20,000 at nakakatulong sa kanila. Yun po ang concept natin at ito namang ginawa namin sa convergence. Ito pinagsama yung mga iba't ibang agency upang sa ganun ay makamit natin yung pagkakaisa at mapaangat natin yung mga magsasaka natin.
The convergence initiatives aim to address the food security on these areas with the strong collaboration of the TFBM member agencies and its INGO partners as they continue to offer and provide interventions needed in the successful implementation of the program. The Department of Social Welfare and Development provides cash for work programs in support to farming activities of the beneficiaries. The ARMM's Department of Agriculture and Fisheries conducts series of distribution of assorted vegetable seeds for the returning communities in 5 pilot barangays. The convergence initiatives on food security is the first livelihood efforts that have been done for the returning communities, and it is expected to be replicated with other agricultural barangays in Marawi City. This program will uplift the lives of farmer beneficiaries and will provide immediate help and assistance for maximum recovery of the city. For PNA Newsroom, Lade Kabagani, Philippine Information Agency.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country.
Two policemen and security detail to ranking officials of Abra were killed after a hand grenade exploded during a fireworks display in La Paz town. The incident occurred at Town Plaza late Wednesday, where the celebration of the town fiesta was being held. Those killed were PO3 Carlos Bucaig and PO2 Frenzel Kitoyan, both members of the Abra Provincial Mobile Force Company under the Abra Police. The two were declared dead while undergoing treatment in a local hospital. Also injured were La Paz Mayor Menchi Bernos and Abra Congressman Joseph Santo Niño Bernos, along with 7 other civilians. A sudden explosion reportedly happened near the officials, led by the congressman and his mayor wife, as they were watching the fireworks display. Police were able to recover levers for 2 hand grenades at the crime scene. Police operatives are conducting a follow-up investigation on the incident. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Here's another look at today's headlines. President Duterte aims to improve relations with India as he attends the India-ASEAN Summit. FIVOX warns residents against lahar flow from Leon volcano triggered by heavy rain. A journalist who testified in the Sereno impeachment proceedings gets a new death threat. The Armed Forces of the Philippines files charges against a Spanish national arrested in Basilan for being a suspected terrorist. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and all that is doing for Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm William Theo. Good day.